with that dedicated pressure is good, because what Yoshino can absolutely do on Malphite is just ignore the objective setup that GAM has with Cage, with the Poe from Cardi, and the threat from Xin. You can, if you get to an objective first, you should have pretty much complete control. Malphite just bypasses that and just ults you. But if he's being dragged to a side lane to deal with Yoshino, he can't just ult you. So yeah, I appreciate. I'm for it.
So Mabi, let's talk about Hecarim. How many build paths does Hecarim have right now that are feasible inside of his current state? After we get through this bot lane play where Xin and Sora just kind of whap at each other. All right, we're good.
Yeah, Sora has gone for the
Glacial.
And
Exhaust.
Not Glacial. Actually, what I'm mostly going for is the AP support item, the Relic Shield. So that means he's gonna have a little bit less trading power in these early skirmishes, and I think that's gonna sort of backfire a little bit, because with the pressure of that Steel Shield guards, you can actually shove Style and Xin straight onto lane under tower extremely effectively, and have full control of the bot lane. As for Hecarim, I don't know. I'm half expecting Levi to do to go for the tier Muramana thing.
That's pretty common actually. That's I think I added in just about every single build this tier amount of money. So there's Black Cleaver, which is usually a rush, and then you typically dip into Jackshow. Spear of Shojin rush is a very legitimate thing alongside the Manamune build. Duskblade is a very legitimate build path if you're wanting to assassinate people, which I think is a lot harder in this game because it's the Xayah and the Sylas, so I don't expect that. I could very, very easily see, Sunder, I think, is the most generic build. It's kind of like the bland flavor, but it does get you where you need to go. You don't have to build Manamune with that one. I would prefer Manamune alongside either the Black Cleaver into Jackshow or the Spear of Shojin into Jackshow into something else as well. I think both of those work really, really lovely in this game.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see out of Levi is the early buy of the tier, and then some long swords, and then he sees how far ahead he is, and then will decide to go Black Cleaver or Shojin.
Yeah, if he's snowballing, he goes into Spear. If he's not snowballing, you go into Black Cleaver. If you end up picking up the game, you can maybe go into Sunder. If you're not getting ahead and you're just kind of meandering about, then you go into Jackshow with the Black Cleaver. Those are the options that you can go for. But there's a lot of trees that go through the decision making here for Hecarim in the modern, because these build paths are wild.
And I'm wondering with Yoshino, because normally we see a little bit of a. We're normally used to seeing the comets and the whatnots, but the Airy, the Airy thing makes me think to the last Malphite with an Airy I saw, which was the Shy, which was full AP. It was into a cannon that time, but
nice.
I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if Yoshino is also a Weibo enjoyer like myself, and going to throw us that curveball. I don't really expect it, but I'm holding out. I'm holding out for the opportunity, for the potential.
Listen, we saw Hazmed build full AP Sejuani. I would not put anything past anybody in this league whatsoever when it comes to building tanks in any capacity. So,
alrighty. But yeah, we see the early pressure coming in from Putin, the Blade Caller, not Blade Caller, the W, whatever it's called, is really is a very strong tool right now at pushing. And Styles just, Veigar does not have a lot of priority level in the early levels. He needs that Dark Man, he needs that AP to actually start pushing the waves, and he wants to manage the wave as best he can so he can farm with his Q, and that will mean he doesn't have a lot of shove, and priority belongs fully. Oh, that was close from Jane.
Yeah, found a minion though. I think he would have preferred that didn't tag at all. It's attacking the minion and dragging him and giving some free trade damage onto Kadi, since Jane has been kind of feeling it inside of this landing phase. Not going to matter too much though. Spook1 finds a decent wraparound on Kiaya here. Kiaya is really far up. Has to be very, very cautious about this. Spook1 going to use the clone to kind of jump in immediately. Is going to find a bit of damage on the Kiaya, but not going to be anything too crazy. As mid lane, Jane is dead. Levi pulls first blood. We kind of missed the majority of this play, but it looks like Xin was able to make a roam up. Sora wasn't able to be here in time, and what a play. GAM, strike first.
Alright, Shojin time. Shojin angle. Let's go. Let's go, Levi.
Dust blade angle. Dust blade angle. Let's go. Get the. Okay. All right. They're gonna be able. I did not think they were going to be able to find the angle. I don't think Levi thought they were going to be able to find the angle on a Sora right there either. But Zin and Levi both are able to kind of pair together. Instead of just going for the plate, they actually get the flash out of the Thresh. And with that, I mean, they walk away completely ripped right here. They're juiced to the maximum.
Jane here.
Jane just gets flashing. He flashed from the. Well, okay. Jane, I give a ton of credit to in the last game. Like, he was at the top of my MVP voting. That right there was some criminality right there. Sora had the lantern on him. He flashed off the lantern. That's some me playing Thresh gameplay, watching my teammates just actively avoid the lantern right there.
Yeah, that's why. When it's a Thresh angle, you play Tahm Kench instead because they don't have a choice. They are coming, whether they like it or not.
I am saving you. Do not resist.
Yeah, you are being rescued. Yeah, now, but with the spotlight pressure and the resets, Fook is going to find himself a dragon. The cage is good to keep style alive, but
Levi's here with level 6.
Sin is flirting with a blast cone.
Fight. Okay, we actually do get a fight. And a dragon steal! Instant assassination onto Fook 1. Gam's just at the front line now. Now they're going to be able to do for more. Kadi's able to get something. Is that going to be another kill for Levi? It won't be. Kadi's going to be able to pick that one. And Jane's stuck in the box of Gam. Running the table in this game. Very pissed about the way that game number 1 actually landed. In this case, they are going to be absolutely devastating Team Flash. As that's 2 kills for your horse. That's a kill for Kadi on the Jace. That's a kill from the Vigar on the bot lane. That's Dragon stolen away. Like, Gam is running this game now.
It is not a Shojin angle, unfortunately. Despite being 2-0-2, he went for a Sheen. He's just yeah, I fully agree. Coward.
Okay, is there a possibility? It is a long shot.
Michael and Jungle next game.
Is there a possibility, long shot possibility, that this is Essence Reaver into Navori Blades on Hecarim? Is that a possibility? Is that something that's ever existed? Has somebody played that somewhere?
No, but with that Kindle gem, I feel that kind of wraps that.
Where is S of M? Did S of M play Essence Reaver Navori Hecarim at some point? I need to know.
I don't know, but SOFM Spirit lives on with the Moonstone Maokai that's been coming out. But this Rift Herald will go down, and Puddin has found himself alone in a raging sea, and Zen will kill his girlfriend.
That's unfortunate. Interesting.
He's for Khan and Zyra.
I get it. Yeah, I understand where the point was made. It's just, this game has gone so much worse. The early game for Flash is just dead in the water. This was okay. Like, Puddin, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're too far choked up into style. Like, you're almost under his tower. Like, I don't know what exactly is going on in this circumstance. Yeah. But they're giving away free things. And this isn't even the person that should be the problem. The beginning of this game should be fine for the rest of the map. And Kiaya should be the one that ends up being a thorn in their side. But Kiaya has done basically nothing on the top side. Yashino hasn't been able to do much either. And the rest of the map has fallen to pieces. Now, even Jane gonna get dove yet again. The fear, pushback, everything goes together. Jane is able to use the Kingslayer, but it does not matter as Kadi has the damage. And again, the mid lane gets ganked. 3k gold advantage. Finally, we're getting some response as Fuquan makes away at the top side, burns the Cyclone, Yashino burns the ultimate. They are able to get a kill on Fiora.
We saw Kiaya use that repulse extremely aggressively, and with that, once Yashino hits 6, that's just an easy cleanup, easy gank. Yeah, not much you can do about that. Much like Jane, couldn't really do much against the Zen Levi combo where they just fly straight in. And yeah, no repulse. What are you gonna do? He's just put in the bounce house. Doesn't even try to flash. Doesn't blow his ult. Just lets it go.
That's Kiaya's, a little bit of Kiaya's fault, because Kiaya had actually burnt like the riposte and just like a single rock thrown at him like seconds earlier on like the wave, and so I think it's just Kiaya doesn't care. The rest of the map is won so heavily. Levi is just in no man's land at the moment. Is actually in a fine position to be able to take more of a fight. Zin jumping in actually gets his AD hooked or Kadi hooked, and now in the middle of everybody, Xayah picks up a kill. That was some stooge nonsense right there from Levi and Zin that got Kadi killed for absolutely no reason.
Hey, Connie, come look at this. Oop, it's Thresh.
Why Iona? Like, I don't. Seriously, they just zipped and zooped out of the way so that the hook lands on Akadi and ends up getting him murdered. But again, it doesn't matter. GAM's not super pressed at this point. They're feeling fine about their scaling. They're feeling fine about the way the game is currently going. So.
Yeah, while putting, of course, a Fed Sire is always a great thing. With the design of Team Flash's composition, they really want to have the lead kind of somewhere else on the disruptors rather than just the backline, Zaya. And the disruptors are not having a good time. There's a kill on Yoshino, building towards that tank. So no Weibo and Joy is up in here. And Jane has just been put in the dirt over and over again by repeat ganks from Zin and Levi. So this link up has absolutely done wonders, and Flash is just gonna try again and kill Molkiaya.
See, this happened last game too, where it was actually GAM on the opposite foot, getting a Kennen really far ahead in terms of the game state. The problem is that Kennen has a lot more damage. Malphite will be a massive initiator, will have some ability to tank some damage, but the trade-off is that the other side of the map, Style is going fine, Kadi's going fine. Your damage dealers are getting ahead, as opposed to the Malphite, which is where Yoshino is kind of absorbing some resource. And again, even if Yoshino gets ahead, the Fiora will eventually still be a thorn in their side, will still be an insane split pusher that you have to deal with if you're Yoshino. Yes, they get this first tower. Fuquan's going to absorb a bit of this gold. That's going to be useful. Fuquan's down 40 minions. I was going to say 30 because I was like, okay, no, it's actually 41 minions. I'm being a little bit less generous than even I needed to be. Levi is crushing Fuquan. His jungle item's almost done, and right now you still have 15 camps if you're Fuquan before you're even completed with that. Now Zin and Kadi actually coming up here to reinforce as they're going to run after Kiai. That was a strange W, but I think the point was to try to bait them in as Kadi and Zin are here still.
Yeah, I think that was predicting a follow-up from the Unstoppable Force. That didn't come through. Dragon traded for that top lane tower, so it should be... Actually, it's not even a gold league. Gaunt's lanes are just winning too hard. That jungle difference is just so immense that even with that first brick gold, into a Malphite, into a Wukong, it's not really worth all that much, and Style just gets to clean up on the bot side alone, and this is going to be a tanky Veigar. Like, a Malphite can one-shot someone. He can't one-shot a Veigar with Rod of Ages Seraphs. And if Cardi builds another Edge of Night, you probably can't one-shot Cardi either. So, in the end, Malphite just starts to struggle and really needs to be that just wants to be a disruption. And you don't want the gold on. You don't want that much gold on the disruption. You were kind of hoping it was on Silas rather than Malphite.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little. I prefer seeing the spike on 3 items for Veigar, and the way you do that is instead of going Seraphs, you go Rabbit on second, and then you go into Deadman's with a tier in your inventory. And by doing that, you get the move speed, you get a ton of AP, and you've got your Rod of Ages, so you're relatively tanky. Then Seraphs comes later, and you still get a massive spike on Seraphs. Yeah. Instead, it's going to be like 4 item spike, where it's okay, Seraphs is going to get done, and you're going to be strong. Don't get me wrong. Then you're going to get your Rabidons, then you're going to have all your damage, then you get Deadman's, and then you can run around at Mach speed without having to auto anybody. You get your permanent move speed buff, you're basically ghosting, and also still have all this damage to work with. And that's when Style is just going to run the game on his own without anything else. But the scaling items are now completed with basically no issue at all. There has been no contention towards the Veigar this entire game. Almost a fully stacked Seraphs, almost a fully stacked Rod of Ages, 5 more minutes, and certainly those 2 items will be long done.
Yeah, we see Flash was actually able to pick up a decent amount of gold for themselves, most of it in that top lane. But yeah, it was matched and overdone by GAM in these lanes that are centered around the dragon, and it has granted them that control. It's a Cloud Drake, which is wonderful for Hecarim. He's gonna love that movement speed. And so is Zin, and these two have been just the core of what has been GAM's lead. And if they're just gonna keep getting better and better, next Rift Herald on the table, that's gonna be picked up easily. Kiaya is in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think just getting it brought down. Okay. Qs and flashes and ults to get away, but he's not going to die. Fuquan's going to try to chase him. Sora's going to be able to find him on the opposite side. Get pranked. Okay. All right. Flash, E, everything coming through. Oh, nope. Fuquan's still not... Okay, Puddin ends up pulling the kill, but they are losing Rift Herald for it. They've just given up complete priority over the Rift Herald pick. And Oh, actually, I thought they were much further through this. I thought they started it seconds ago. They did not. Instead, they're only just now starting it.
That's
fine.
Might have just misjudged the timer, but yeah. Oh no, this is why.
Rip Jane. Okay.
They decided to farm a Silas instead.
That makes a lot of sense. And double ultimates for it, too. So they just go after it. And Kadi gets the kill, so all your damage is perfectly fine. Now Levi actually just finished his jungle pet with that taking of the Rift Herald, with the Rift Herald in tow as well. We'll just head to the top side and help out Kadi just a little bit more. I don't think they need the Rift Herald for this. Nobody's really coming to the defense of this right now. As this dive on bottom side is Kiaya, again getting bullied. Man, leave him alone. Come on. Let him play the game. Wait, okay. I thought that was the ultimate, but it wasn't. It was the lantern coming through. And they end up getting the turret, but it's split between 4 different members. And the exchange is that Rift Herald is still available for topside if they wanted to keep pushing, if they really, really were desperate for it. Instead, Pudding is just going to keep pushing on the bottom side. No one's here to respond. Honestly, drop Rift Herald top, please. Just let Kadi continue to cook. Instead, I'm not sure. Did Levi drop it? I can't see. There's no scoreboard.
No, he still got it. Yeah, I think they definitely... Oh,
what? Okay, I was wrong. They didn't bully Kiaya. Kiaya's a moron. Why are you TPing to this tower? Like, why? In 100 years would you TP to this tower?
Yeah, Kiaya bullied himself. And now there's a teleport coming in from Jane and from Yoshino. This is a good pick on a style who just went in too early.
Expecting more people, I think, to be here ahead of time. Puddin is going to go down really, really quickly to Kadi, who's going to jump in on the backside of this fight. That's a 2 for 2 so far, as Kadi's going to try to clean up more. Yoshino is able to walk out really easily. Sora's able to pull somebody out as well. But now Levi's in the midst of everybody, and that is not a person you want to be in your backline. Sora's going to get brought down. And what looked like a decent fight for Flash at the beginning of this one ends up being a terrible, as it is a 5 for 2. Kiaya is going to be gifted back something. Thank you. 2 kills to Kiaya. The Fiora's back online, baby.
Woo, that's a 5 for 1, baby. 5 for 2. Sorry, Zim did die. Yeah, that's kind of like you killed the Vega, you killed the bot lane carry, but Levi is so damn fat. He just runs through the whole team, and yeah, Star just gets caught out immediately and dies. They just ignore Fook 1 to go murder Puddin, and from there, yeah, they still have Kadi. Kiaya gets to join, and Levi is taking no damage, man. Jane is too far behind. Puddin was the only real damage, and with Jane Puddin targeted out, yep. Easy.
I'm very upset with Levi this game. Of all the games that we could have seen, like Duskblade into Monamune, or like Spear Sojin into Monamune or anything like that, this isn't it. Look at this. Look at this. This is the most bland milquetoast build I've ever seen for this Hecarim, right? Serelda's a Black Cleaver. What are you, a team fight? What are you gonna build armor next? You build magic resist? You're 3-0-8 with a 50 CS lead over your counterpart, Levi. Levi! Didn't you play like Karthus at one point? Build damage! No one wants you to be building this. Build damage. Come on. What are we doing here?
What's this? Watch as he builds the only righteous glory purchase known to man as the hook is
okay. Into a fight. Sora is basically blown up to begin with. That's going to be Style getting exhausted in the midst of everything. Zen tries to pull him out. Levi's still in the middle of everybody. Unfortunately, I think the blast cone knocked him out, and he could have maybe cleaned up a little bit more. It's a 2 for 1 for Team Flash as Style and Zin get brought down. Style's been caught out a couple of times now. You don't have the dead man, so you don't have the permanent move speed to be able to utilize to get yourself out of dodge in a lot of circumstances, which is why I like it on 3rd item instead of 4th item. But you know what? It's perfectly fine. They're not really pressed for anything. They're down 5k. Kiaya's back in the game. If you remember, he's a split pusher, and they gave him a ton of gold back, as this was the start to the play. They did a really good job denying Hecarim in this, actually. A couple of things right there. Denied Levi access into the backline that could have really meant the death of Pudding, probably the death of Fook 1 as well. And the blast cone kind of cemented that as Levi now actually getting jumped on. He's going to have the W. He's got the Q up. He's just healing like a monster right now. He's winning this fight. The Sunder helped keep him alive. Now the reinforcements, yes, they do bring him down. Yes, they get a shutdown, but they are going to lose their jungler in response as well. Oh, maybe, unless Fook 1 actually jumps back down. Kiaya, can he be the hero at the edge of the night? He will find at least one. Now Jane is getting brought down, and all of a sudden, Kiaya... Okay, Kiaya, you're killing me, man. Every time I want to hype him up, he ends up doing something stupid. Every time he does something stupid, he ends up doing something hype. I don't get it, man. He's perfectly caster cursed by me all game.
Well, they're going to... GAM, however, despite that, are going to grab this Baron and this like pretty much monster that fight. Levi will be up quite shortly. He can join fairly quickly. And this is just, GAM they've been playing it a little bit loose this game as well, but they have been playing very dominant in the team fights. Yoshino had the ultimate, but didn't really want to commit without anybody else in hand, and that's a full Baron.
Levi, Classic Levi jumping in. He gets the blue buff, gets slowed by the
Airfrost. Gonna
go back in. Oh, I thought that was a Q from Levi or something, that tag that did that much damage. Instead, it was Cotty just sniping from 100 miles away. Jane also got out of this relatively scot-free, because that should have probably been a death onto Jane, but they had no vision to know where he was going to be. Instead, it was then Kiaya kind of cleaning the back end of this fight. You gotta love Zintu. And right here, the Q, come on. They're the biggest part of the wall. What are we doing? You probably don't chase that anyway, which is also going to be a mistake as it is, but Kiaya trying for it and then face planting is just even more embarrassing. But ultimately, the fact that Kiaya was dead like 3 times at the beginning of this game with nothing and has now cleaned up 4 kills over 2 team fights to get back to even itemization with Yoshino is insane.
And of course they took the tower in the fight before that last one. We see the gold. He's climbed well up. He's now
ahead of
the only one in Team Flash that is, amongst that sea of purple is Puddin. And now with that Baron in hand, they're going to push down. They have a lot of siege.
Oh my!
Where'd he go? I didn't even see.
I think it was a shock blast. It was a W coming through from the Vygar, and then it was just Levi walking up, hitting Q 1 time and farming, just reaping that Thresh, which was unreal. Now the split push again from Kiaya, also able to come through with the Baron buff. This team is falling apart like Team Flash just has not had a single response all game. Mid inhibitor is going to get shoved now. Will they come to the defensive mid lane? It doesn't matter. They're going to get shoved in. That is a great play with the Vygar Hecarim combination, using it to its fullest right there to be able to get that one big pick off. Mid inhibitor is going to go down. They have a decent wave in the mid lane. 5v4, health bar is low. Will they look for anything else instead? They'll probably just look for bottom inhibitor as well and walk out.
Welcome back, Sora. Are you going to be with us long? No, it doesn't look like it as that shot blast lands. And gosh, I didn't even not see him around that tower, and then he wasn't there. So that's 2 inhibitors. They have a push in the top lane as well. That shouldn't amount to too much, but that's full control for the soul. That was I thought something
Levi.
happened. That was just
Levi. He built magic resist. Where is the Yumus? Build something interesting. Somebody they lost the first game, and Hanke just put a leash on Levi and said, "You are not doing a damn thing interesting this game. You're going to be the most bland Hecarim of all time, and that's it. Nothing else." And I don't know, the whip is being cracked, because I feel like this was a game that Levi could have done anything he wanted. In fairness, everybody's got damage. They've got more than enough. The mid lane Jace is doing a ridiculous amount. The Vygar is very nearly on Rabadons. They've got their 3rd dragon of the game. That's actually soul point now for Cloud Soul. Look how fast Levi's already eating around the map, which is pretty awesome. Think about how much Duskblade and Yumus could have done in this game, Mob. What insane.
Think about how fast this man could have been. This man could have been a helicopter if he just built a Shojin.
That's what I'm saying.
Cannot interrupt Yoshino, what with not having CC. So Yoshino will leave. He will vacate the area.
Later, chum.
And see Cardi hoping to make Puddin vacate the area very shortly. Misses the shot blast, so all is well, all is well.
Levi's solo laner experience at the moment, and
Sin's just having a bit of fun.
The call the speed up. I was waiting to see whether Gam's going to do anything. Now Fook 1 tries to flash in, get something. Style with an amazing cage actually forces out so much defense from the side of Team Flash. And no, nothing has happened quite yet. No ultimate to come through from Yoshino to tag on anybody important. And that's 1 down on the front end of the fight. Everybody else half health. As Style's able to catch Fook 1 in the middle of a cage as well. That's going to be another dead member of this team. Man, what are you doing? What do you do to respond to this? Kadi's still dropping damage in the middle of everybody. Style's still messing around, and that's going to be another Nexus tower down. That's going to be the Nexus down 24 minutes. We're not messing around. This game was half of game number 1, Bobby. Half of what happened in game number 1. Damn, this is what we were expecting from them, and even with a similarly goofy composition, that looked a lot better. I loved these champion additions to the pool.